Representatives of the Dorset Water District have reached out to the town select board and town manager for help as they move forward with a potentially far-reaching overhaul of the town's municipal water system. The municipal system serves about 200 homes and businesses in the village of Dorset, and increasing the supply of water from the current spring-fed reservoir is a priority, said Ben Weiss, the president of the Prudential Committee, which oversees the water department.
Yeah, we've begun. We've hired an engineer. We've gone through planning for supplemental water sources. We are in discussion and negotiation with two private property owners to put a well on their property, which would supplement the water system during late summer and early fall when we have our water shortages. So we've prioritized that as our number one goal to fix that problem.
For the past 2 summers, the lack of rainfall combined with leaking pipes have forced the Water District to issue restrictions on the use of municipal water. Last August and September, those restrictions included a nightly shutoff of water supplies and limits on non-essential uses such as washing cars or watering lawns. The Water District has received a $20,000 planning grant from the state to develop an accurate map of the district's assets, such as water lines and pipes. They are also negotiating with property owners to open a new well site on Cheney Road. The Prudential Committee has also applied for a $5 million construction loan. If approved, it would enable them to move on to longer-term issues, like replacing the supply line pipes that feed water to homes and businesses from the main lines, along with other improvements to the roughly 100-year-old system. But these improvements may take time to work through, Weiss said. The first step is to get the new proposed well up and running, but there are still hurdles to be overcome. For the past 2 years, the Water Board has focused on finding and repairing leaking pipes. Fire hydrants are another issue. The ones in Dorset haven't been usable since the 1990s, since they can't supply adequate water pressure for firefighting. To bring them up to modern standards will require larger distribution pipes throughout the system and additional water storage.
The reality of the situation is we need state permits for the feasibility of the project and also the construction of the project, and I honestly don't know how long that permitting process will take place. We do have cooperative, property owners, as I said before, so that I think we have to get easements from both of those property owners, present that to the state with this plan, and then as soon as we get the permits, I think we would move ahead with construction.
With all of these components in play, the Prudential Committee has reached out to the town government for some help to manage and oversee the construction and oversight of the water system, building on the success they've had so far with a financial management agreement. At the Select Board meeting on April 18th, Weiss approached the board about setting up a management contract with Rob Giotti, the town manager. That agreement has yet to be ratified, but the board seemed open to the idea. Earlier this week, town manager Giotti spoke about what his role might be if the idea is approved.
I don't know the complete status in terms of any kind of a start date or the actual, getting an agreement in place, but that was kind of the premise that, I gathered from the other night at the meeting, was that would be something that if we can work out a management agreement, that would be something that would probably kick in fairly quickly. No, I think the goal for the select board was to see, essentially a contract with some of the details as far as what would be, exchanged between the two entities, that being the town and the fire district. But I get the sense that they're certainly willing and want to try to help support the process and keep the momentum that the fire district board has already kind of got. In terms of the length of time, public infrastructure and utilities like this, the planning and the process and the projects, and they don't ever really stop. It's kind of always ongoing. So, not to dodge the question, but it's going to be a long-term process. I mean, it takes many, many years typically for big projects. Usually are bonded. Usually it's a 20-year bond payment, and usually with a small system, there's not much capacity beyond that one bond to pay for stuff. And that's not unique to the Dorset system. I mean, that's pretty similar around the state. So I think all that stuff is kind of yet to be determined. But what's important is that they if they get through some of the early engineering and they can get some data in terms of the types of projects, the cost of the project, the time frame, that really the best thing for them to do is then to take that to some kind of a public vetting process so people can learn and understand what the deficiencies are and what the best modes to try to fix them are.
Dorset's municipal water users are charged a fee for their use, but the lack of water meters has made it hard to tailor fees to actual use. Currently, the average annual cost is about $150 per user, and the district's budgets have been kept tight to keep those fees from rising. But the need to repair leaky pipes and find a supplemental water source has put upward pressure on the budget, and one being developed for this year will more than double in size to cover the cost of the system's maintenance. Only residents who are on the system currently pay for it. The annual meeting of the Water District is set for Monday, May 8th at the Dorset Firehouse, and the plans for upgrading the system will be one of the subjects up for discussion. For the GNAT TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.